Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about Red V-Raptor ST or Raptor camera. So let's dive right into it. So first thing you have to understand, this puppy is around 35.4 megapixel, meaning it can truly give you a true 8K image. Now this is a full frame puppy, meaning you can utilize your Canon RF lenses properly without any crop. Awesome. And it does have rolling shutter CMOS, which is a bit of an issue for some type of work, specifically if you are anybody who moves the camera a lot or you are trying to shoot ludicrously fast action speeds. In those sort of scenario, people will still urge you to go with Komodo because it has global shutter. Now again, if you do not know about what's the difference between global shutter and rolling shutter, just go with this. So be mindful, because even though it has rolling shutter, they have worked tirelessly, and every company at this point in time, they are working very hard on rolling shutters to make them fast enough where you're like, dude, it's more than good enough. So do not worry about that. But it's like, it's one of those things that I desire. It's like, dude, you are a dedicated cinema camera, you can go to on semiconductor, and it's like, bro, can you please? So that is kind of a bit weird for $24,000 camera, but I get it. And they are utilizing Canon RF lens mount. Now be mindful, when I'm saying Canon RF mount, I mean Canon RF mount, meaning they had talks with Canon. This is a proper what we call technology transfer kind of thing. Basically they talked with them. It's like, hey, we want to utilize your system. Canon is like, got you fam, this is our specs, this is our electric pins and everything. It's like it's natively supported, quote unquote, and it also has face detection autofocus. Now be very mindful. You may be like, face detection, that's awesome. Yes. Technology awesome. Yes, it can do tap to autofocus. Do not expect this puppy to compete with any Canon camera or any Sony camera, because be mindful, it does have the technology, it does even have the lenses, but it does not have the algorithm that goes behind it, meaning autofocus tracking and all that jazz. That's not gonna happen. Now then you may be like, okay, in cinema camera we generally don't have autofocus, then why the heck this company is pushing autofocus so fast? Well, this is one of those things where cinema is still cinema, but there are a lot of things that are slowly picking up to a point where people are utilizing cinema equipment in low budget things. For example, YouTube videos, for example, music videos, for example, interview shots and all that, like things I did not even knew about, that people are spending millions of dollars just to shoot them. So reality is, the cinema cameras, like, people are buying them, but they are expecting things that are getting from a basically mirrorless camera kind of. So having a face detection autofocus system is really helpful, because focus puller is not always available. And if you have an autofocus system that is good enough, and you are not doing like a very methodic sort of push pull, this will do the good enough job. And if you really need that, again, if you are coming from a cinema industry, you will know how to get a focus puller. But it's like, if you want to do it without it, this puppy will allow you to do that. So that's one of the good things. Now you have to understand that there are two major cinema camera companies, for example, RE and Red. Now RE is always known for its love of color, meaning RE color equals color, everybody else equals garbage. And you can see that in how many Oscars they win. It's like RE, Oscar, one Red, Oscar is one pen winner, Oscar is like something else. So reality is, RE knows their stuff. Now Red, because they were trying to act as a competitor and cheaper alternative, yes, Red is super cheap compared to RE. They did focus on two USPs, meaning their resolution and speed, meaning the amount of frame rate and the amount of resolution they will give you, that will always be industry leader. And it also always been the case, because for example, highest you can go in RE system is basically the one camera they utilize for Endgame and Infinity War. Those puppy was like 65 millimeter. I was like, whoa, that's some huge sensor. Yes, that was medium format sensor, resolution 6K only. So it's like, what? This puppy has 17 stops of dynamic range. Now, if that is true, if that is really delivered, people will simply say, shut up and take my money. Because be mindful, this is one of those things that separates a high-end cinema camera to okay kind of basically mirrorless systems. Mirrorless systems nowadays can easily give you reliably 10. And if you are properly tuning it, if like you have perfect at ISO range, perfect lens and perfect and all that, just you can achieve around 13, 14. But achieving 17, that's mind-bogglingly good. That is like damn good. Now be mindful, you will never show a footage that is like at 17. You will always capture at 17, then you will fine tune it, compress the stuff and all that. That's the whole job of colorist. So you will always compress it, but if you can capture at 17, that's awesome. That's just like, shut up and take my money. And in this puppy, they are going 8K. That's the whole point. 4320p. But if you go to that resolution, you can go up to 120 fps. Now be mindful, 8K is very difficult, even doing at 30 fps. 8K doing at 120 fps as cinema grade quality, That's mind-bogglingly awesome. That's the whole point of Red. Red has always been like, we're gonna give you a resolution and we're gonna give you badass frame rate. So this is mind-bogglingly cutting edge, so to say. Even though there may be cameras that can exceed this puppy, at the bit rate, at the dynamic region that this puppy can deliver, is like, don't even compare. And what if you want to go ludicrously fast? Let's say you are making a music video, but you want slow motion. You can go to 1080p, and this puppy will give you 480 fps, which is fast for cinema grade equipment. That's fast. So that's good. Now be very mindful. This puppy consumes data like there is no tomorrow. So you are looking up upwards of 360 mbps per second. Now you may be like, 360 does not sound that bad, until you realize that's capital B. Every time you listen to, like, 400 fps on a Canon camera, they are like generally small b. I'm talking about mirrorless DSLRs and all that jazz. This puppy, when you compare, like, go to small b, that is 2880 mbps, or 2.9 gbps almost. So you get that point. If you are thinking about buying this camera, you do not need hard disk, you need servers, many of them. So that's the reality of it. So even the company knows that, like, if people are going YOLO on it, they will be like running out of hard drives before, specifically running out of card space before they run out of hard drive. Is that like, they're like, dude, please try in medium compression, then go into low compression. So it's in the, public release paper, so to say. It's like, don't directly go to the lowest compression setting. Try to, like, I'm pretty sure you will be happy with the even the highest compression setting. Just start with there, then be like, hey, highest is not doing it, then go to medium, then go to high. Don't directly start with high. So what are the pros and cons of the system? Now I'm ludicrously happy, my soul is very happy with the fact that they are no longer using proprietary garbage. For example, Red Mag, they're like, Red Mag on, shoo, done. I'm very happy with that. They are utilizing CFast Express 2.0 Type B. Now you may be like, this puppy, what is the deal with them? Well, they look like XQD from Sony. Now you may be like, yes, they look like XQD, then what's the deal? Well, basically Sony and Compact Flash Association, they got married together, and the idea was that Compact Flash was not selling Compact Flash cards in minimal. That's why, like, this is Compact Flash Express. Compact Flash Fast cards, they were not selling that much. So Sony came along, it's like, hey, you're gonna carry our physical standard, meaning this card looks like XQD. You can even put that. And by basically all the Nikon cameras that had SQD, you can run CFast because they are backwards and forwards compatible. So Sony is gonna give them the physical standard, and the internals, basically protocol, will be provided by Compact Flash Association. Now all the new cameras that you're seeing in the market, they are generally utilizing this puppy. Now because it's no longer tied to Sony, people are more comfortable and utilizing this. For example, SanDisk is starting to make it, Sony is starting to make it, and basically Luxar is also making it, and ProGrade is also making it. Other two companies I'm not that familiar with. So these puppies are ludicrously fast because they utilize NVMe protocol, meaning the thing that runs on SSDs nowadays on a computer or desktop or server level. So those are ludicrously fast. For example, even Red is like releasing their own cards. They are idiotically overpriced and idiotically slow. They are like read-write speed of 800 mbps, capital B. Now that's awesome, and that's around 200 mbps faster than their Red Max. Red Max were running on SATA 3, so that was good. But here's the deal: if you buy the cheapest, the slowest in this puppy I can find is around write speed of 1200 mbps. Now be mindful, that is the Red is like, hey, if you buy our card, we authorize it, like, it's like we know for a fact that this will work with that. They may authorize these things after a while, may authorize SanDisk, may authorize Sony after, like, enough people will request it, because this is an open standard. It's no longer like, hey, locked, because people will expect, like, think of it this way, like, if a company says SD card, you're not as supposed to, like, okay, buy SD card from that company itself. Like Sony says SD card, you can buy SD card from SanDisk. You're not supposed to be like only buy from Sony. So Red may have to validate these things eventually. They may not do that, or they may be like, hey, dude, do it at your own risk. But hopefully it should work with all of these companies. So that's awesome. However, I do hate the fact that they are still using single slot. Why? It's like, dude, every Tom, Dick and Harry know, no matter how good your technology is, one point of failure is a point of failure. Other than that, there is nothing else. It's like in data industry, we have saying, it's like 1 is 0, 2 is 1. So if you have one copy of data, you don't have any copy of data. You don't have anything. If you have 2 copies, then there is a good chance. If you have 3, now you have, really safe. That's why, like, in every server industry, it's like there must be 2 hard drives. Or in case data is very critical, they will have a whole server backed up somewhere else off-site. So if like earthquake, tsunami and all that, okay, so we still have data left. Now, they are learning from the market trend, because there are many low budget cinema camera equipment manufacturers that are not as good as this or as polished as this, but they are more and more people are coming into video world, and they are utilizing that. If they directly buy into that system, and as the company will mature, the purchaser, the people who bought it in the first place, they will not change the system. So Red is like changing their ways. I like that this approach. Second, the fact that they are utilizing mobile camera as a proper live view setup, because think of this, you just bought this and they are like, hey, we are either out of stock of let's say displays, or you do not like the idea there is like freaking $3,000 for a display. You're like, dude, that's just garbage. You may be like, hey, can I use my Android phone? They're like, they will validate some Android phones, and iPhone should work directly out of the box. So that's also a very good thing, that for live view you do not need to buy super expensive thing. You can utilize your basically high-end mobile phone, because it has really good display nowadays, even with a ludicrously high FPS. So I'm very happy with those two developments. I do hate the fact that they are not using two slots, but and there is one benefit that you will get, even though cards are slow, and if you utilize these cards, I'm not talking about Red card, if you utilize basically SanDisk, Sony and all that, they can you read data at ludicrously fast speed, around 1.5 Gbps, meaning you can recovery data very quickly. Like, you take the card, put it into the system, dump the data into 2 or 3 medias, that can be done very quickly. So that will help every studio immensely. So there are some good advantages to this. However, be very mindful of cost. Now, Red has always been known for a company that kind of tricks its people, because we think about camera as a camera. It's like, you bought the camera, you think about lens afterwards. That's it. You do not think about anything else. But the moment you talk about Red, it's just a body, and it's a stripped down body, meaning you have to think about battery, you have to think about display. So that inherently creates a kind of like a, for people who have boatload of money, who are thinking about RE, that's not an issue. But Red came into the market with a promise, cheap. So people kind of get trapped into this space, like 24,000. Hey, dude, that's good. They start to think about, hey, what we gonna do with lens? Awesome. And they have the budget, but there's a deal. They forgot the mentioned batteries. V-mount batteries are good, but they are expensive, and their charges even more expensive. So reality is, you have to think that into consideration thoroughly. That's also expensive. $3,000 display is not cheap. CFast Expert 2.0 cards, they are also very expensive, and the whole ecosystem will end up costing a lot. RF lenses are, while they are very good, they are not cheap. So fundamentally, you have to be very mindful with this thing. Do not go into, oh, $24,000. That means nothing. You may end up easily spending 35,000. So be very mindful. So this was my presentation with Red's new cinema camera. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show my express disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.